All right, happy Monday to y'all. Even though this is Sunday as I'm doing this, this is a pre-recorded video for tomorrow. This is the stars and standings as we usually do. So let's go right into this because the standings have gotten a lot more interesting over the last couple of weeks as things have tightened up. Um, you're not seeing an overall tightening up like first to last, but you're seeing a lot of close playoff races in which, or a lot of positioning races in which there's only a couple points um, that are uh, involved here. Now, I'm pre recording this, so the game that's taking place, or was taking place Sunday night between Watertown and Elmira isn't factored into this. You're watching this on Monday, but again, I'm recording on Sunday. Kind of have to do that with work requirements and stuff. But if Elmira ends up with a regulation win, the interesting thing is, okay, more wins in this column, but remember, this is just overall wins. The tiebreaker is points, which these two teams would be tied, 28 each. Regulation wins, well, 8 and 8. And then you have winning percentage. Elmira's winning percentage is going to be higher should they pull out a regulation win. So, in that instance, we would be heading into next week, starting Thursday, with Elmira in fourth place, Watertown in fifth. Now, Elmira's got a tough road to hoe. 3 games this past weekend, 4 games in 4 nights this next week. So Elmira is going to be tired, and I'm going to talk about suspensions in a minute. Austin Pickford is out for 10 games, meaning Elmira is going to be skating with a maximum roster of 17 for the next 10 games. You're shorthanded, playing 4 in 4. That's a tough road to hoe. And that really hurts Elmira because they're just starting to get it going. But anyway, back to the standings. We have a very close race between Baton Rouge, who was idle this last weekend, and Blue Ridge. Now we're just talking about 2 points. So there's jockeying going on there. Of course, Port Huron leapfrogged over Mississippi this last weekend, but it's still only 2 points. With a regulation win being 3 points, this can end up going back and forth for quite a while. And there's 8 points between Carolina and Columbus, a little bit of separation, but still Carolina easily within striking distance of Columbus. Now, in the Empire Division, things really got tight between Motor City and Danbury. Motor City, they've had their struggles as of late. After their torrid hot start, they have gone 6-9-1. Meanwhile, Danbury has turned on the Jets, even though they lost Saturday evening. They earned a split over the weekend, so they got 3 points. Motor City got nothing this last weekend, so this is tightened up. And this upcoming weekend, we could see Danbury jump into second place. Meanwhile, we just talked about the dogfight between Watertown and Elmira to see who gets that last playoff spot. Obviously, we're a long way from the playoffs. We're just about at the halfway point now. Some teams have played 28 games. A couple have played more. But you have Watertown, Elmira, still a couple games to go before they reach that 28-game mark. So, roughly, I'm going to officially call this next weekend the halfway point of the season. But so things are getting really tight, really interesting. And, we haven't had parity like this quite some time in the FPHL. And that makes for a very good, exciting season. you can't say, oh, such and such a team is out. We, again, no offense to any Delaware fans watching, but we don't have a Delaware Thunder this year. We don't have a Battle Creek Rumblebees. We don't have North Shore Knights. All right, everybody is performing fairly well, and the three teams right now that are in blue, and they're all considered expansion teams, and they're ahead of the curve from previous year's teams. So, which is great. It's going to make for a very exciting second half of the season. All right, let us move on to our 5 stars of the week. And again, I know I'm not including Elmira and Watertown's game that's being played Sunday night. So, I mean, things could end up a little different. But as I am recording this, this is what I got. So, yeah, Alexander Jemayev, he is now second in the lead, or tied for second in the lead for goals scored with 23. Um, just another 2 goals and 2 assists for Jemayev. Yeah, no big deal. Columbus is so stacked right now. But anyway, so yeah, Jemayev was the kind of the top dog for the River Dragons this last weekend. Tate Leeson, again, the first 2 games in a losing cause both nights, he still had 3 goals. 3 of the 4 goals scored by Watertown came off the stick of Tate Leeson. So yeah, Leeson is back playing. Hopefully he can keep his nose clean and just focus on his on ice play, because that's fantastic. So yeah, 3 goals there, and yeah, Leeson has 21 goals, so he's not that far back in the goal scoring race either. All right, Peter Panicek. He is this year's assist machine for the Carolina Thunderbirds. Last year, it was John Botita. This year, it's Peter Panicek, leading the league right now with 38 assists, and 6 of those came in 2 games this last weekend. 4 assists on Friday night, 2 on Saturday. So Panicek he's just seeing everything really well, seeing where his teammates are, setting up great plays, reading the plays. You don't have that many assists by accident. So I know everybody says, well, it's easier to get an assist than it is a goal. And generally speaking, yeah, that's true. But when you get this many assists, when you get 38 assists in 28 games, that's skill. That's hockey IQ. And Peter Panicek doing really, really fantastic. Our goalie that we're focusing on is Tucker Tynan. Led the Port Huron Prowlers to a sweep over their in-state rivals, the Motor City Rockers. Stopped 65 of 69 shots, 2 wins. That's a .942 save percentage. And right now, his save percentage for the year is .934. Now, he's not listed among the league leaders because one of the requirements to be listed amongst the leaders is a goaltender has to have played a third of all the games that the team has played, and Tynan hasn't reached that level yet. He might. I think he's asserted himself as the clear number one. Obviously, he's bounced between the SP and the Fed a couple times. So, but if he has a long stay with the Prowlers, he could end up being one of the leaders of the league. And last person, Gavin Yates for the Binghamton Black Bears. He quietly had 3 goals, 2 on, what was it? I'm sorry, it was 1 on Friday, 2 on Saturday. And Yates, he's got 25 points in 19 games. He's not one of the leading scorers, but he's one of those important cogs, support scoring for the Binghamton Black Bears, and he does it very well. So there you go. There are our 5 stars of the week. Now I just want to quickly touch on suspensions. Um, yeah, if you look at the transactions board, um, Dave Jackson just went a little over the edge. A couple of things I think were pretty clear cut. Um, the uh, the Chase Harwell coming off the bench, as the rules state, automatic 6 games. Okay. Um, Billy McCreary, 3 games. I am not in agreement with that. Um, uh, Harwell had just come back on the bench after finishing up a shift, and then jumped the boards before Billy could even recognize what was going on. I was sitting 6 rows behind the team benches. McCreary did not send Harwell out there to cause a problem, nor did he suggest it. And so now, remember, all these suspensions are appealable. I am hoping, honestly, that McCreary can appeal that suspension and be on the bench this next weekend, because I understand what the league is trying to do, but it's overboard. It's way overboard. Um, 10 games for Pickford, way over the line. All right. 2 penalties for physical abuse of officials on Pickford. I'm sorry, but Steve Cook, just his ego took over, and quite honestly, I'm. This is my opinion. Okay, I don't have proof of this, so I just want it understood that this is my opinion. I don't think Dave Jackson looks at film um, when he makes his write ups on who's suspended and why in the scenario. I think he's just taking the word of the officials. Case in point, for last Saturday's game, he suspended Donald Olivieri for Binghamton Black Bears. Olivieri didn't do anything. It was the wrong guy. He should have suspended Connor Smith for 1 game for what he wrote up, because Connor Smith was the one that committed that penalty. But, well, it wasn't even a penalty because at the time nothing was called. But the league went back and looked at it and said, oh, yeah, Olivieri is out for a game. Yeah. Get the right guy. Is that too much to ask? All right. So, yeah, we're seeing a real abuse um, of the whole principle here. And you know who called this out? You know who predicted this? The Danbury fans. Yeah, the fans nobody wants to talk about, but they were right. When they talked about the whole thing, they said this isn't about Daniel Amesbury. This is about the system and how they have set things up. They're going to come after your guys too. Lo and behold, that's happening. We're seeing it. Some of the suspensions I think are reasonable, such as the 1 game to Gamzatov, the 1 game to Poser, the 10 games to Pickford, the 7 games to Farrell. It's an abuse. It's terrible, terrible, terrible. Um, so I'm hoping, hey, we have so many mid-season changes at this point. Let's add another one. Let's amend this whole thing, because this is just getting ridiculous. Um, so that's my hope, because I'm seeing and reading what you guys are saying online, and I know you're all in agreement that it's too much. It's just way over the line. So there's my piece. All right. So on a happier note, later today, Monday, I will be on Spotify doing power rankings for week 15. And of course, tomorrow we're going to touch on some news and notes. We'll be kind of looking into this whole suspension happy thing going on right now. And, let's try and find balance. You went from one end of the extreme where nothing is getting called to now we're calling everything and it's out of proportion and it's just insane. So let's find a happy medium. All right, I am Gary Ryan for the Fed League Flash. We will catch you all throughout this week on Spotify and Facebook Live on Friday. Have a great week, everyone.